Here's something most riders don't realize until it's too late. A bike can feel fantastic on a 20-minute test loop and still wreck your back, wrists, and shoulders by the time you've put 200 real miles on it. Meanwhile, a handful of other bikes are engineered well enough that riders in their 50s and 60s are quietly stacking up 50,000 plus miles on them and finishing every ride feeling fine. We dug through long-term owner patterns and real ergonomic data to find the 9 Japanese adventure bikes that actually make riding easier instead of harder as the miles pile up. Stick with this one to the end. The bike at number 1 isn't the biggest engine or the highest price tag on this list. It's simply the one that gets the balance right better than anything else here. If riding still matters to you, but waking up sore the next morning doesn't have the same appeal it used to, this list is built for exactly that. Number 9. Yamaha Super Tenere 1200. There's a certain rider who simply stops chasing what's trendy somewhere around 50. You just want something that fires up reliably every single time. That's the Super Tenere 1200's whole appeal, though it's worth knowing up front that Yamaha has wound this model down in several markets, including pulling it from the US lineup after 2024. If you can still track down a new or lightly used unit, it remains one of the most dependable long-haul machines Japan has ever produced. Its 1,199cc parallel twin with a 270-degree crank makes around 110 horsepower, but what really stands out is how relaxed it feels cruising at 75 miles an hour. An engine that spends most of its life under low stress tends to last a very long time. At roughly 575 pounds wet, it's genuinely heavy, but once rolling, it feels planted rather than cumbersome, tracking straight through crosswinds and rough asphalt alike. Then there's the shaft drive. No chain adjustments, no lubing a chain every service interval, no crawling around the garage floor. For riders who've been doing this for decades, that kind of simplicity matters more than any spec sheet bragging right. A wide, supportive saddle and spacious, neutral ergonomics mean 400-mile days never turn into an endurance event. Number 8. Suzuki V-Strom 800. There's a real gap between a bike that feels powerful and one that's actually usable day after day. And past 50, usable wins nearly every time. The V-Strom 800 lands almost perfectly in that space. Its 776cc parallel twin builds strong mid-range torque without ever needing high revs to feel alive. No planning every overtake, no chasing the red line just to merge. At roughly 490 pounds wet, it's heavier than the Transalp, but the mass sits low and balanced, so slow-speed turns never feel top-heavy, and U-turns never feel like a gamble. What really stands out for riders in this age bracket is how it handles imperfect pavement. Expansion joints, frost heaves, rough back roads all get absorbed rather than transmitted straight into your spine. The ergonomics stay neutral throughout, with open hips, relaxed shoulders, knees that never feel cramped, and a seat height that reads adventure bike without towering over you at a stoplight. Honda kept the throttle mapping refined too, since twitchy fueling gets genuinely tiring over a long day, and the suspension absorbs broken pavement and railroad crossings without punishing your spine. This isn't the biggest bike on this list, it's the one that proves adventure riding can still feel genuinely easy. Number 7. Honda Transalp 750. Most riders hit a specific moment somewhere in their 50s. You still want genuine adventure capability, but you're done wrestling 600 pounds of motorcycle every time the pavement ends. That's precisely the gap the Transalp 750 exists to fill. Its 755cc parallel twin makes roughly 90 horsepower, but the raw number matters far less than how that power actually shows up. Smooth and predictable, with no sudden surges to catch you off guard. At around 460 pounds wet, it's light enough to handle in a tight parking lot without straining anything, yet stable enough to feel planted once you're up to highway speed. That balance is exactly what matters most after 50. You want confidence, not intimidation. Ergonomics staying neutral throughout. Open hips, relaxed shoulders, knees that never feel cramped, and a seat height that reads adventure bike without towering over you at a stoplight. Honda kept the throttle mapping refined too, since twitchy fueling gets genuinely tiring over a long day, and the suspension absorbs broken pavement and railroad crossings without punishing your spine. This isn't the biggest bike on this list, it's the one that proves adventure riding can still feel genuinely easy. Number 6. Honda NC750X. The NC750X was never trying to be exciting. It was built to be smart. And past 50, smart starts looking considerably more appealing than exciting ever did. Honda's 745cc parallel twin makes around 58 horsepower, but the real magic is where that power shows up. Low in the rev range, exactly where you actually cruise. No frantic downshifting, no chasing revs, just steady, relaxed forward motion. At just under 500 pounds wet, the NC750X carries its weight unusually low thanks to its distinctive underseat fuel tank placement, which makes low-speed maneuvering feel dramatically lighter than the scale would suggest. The riding position stays neutral and balanced throughout. Nothing cramped, nothing forcing your wrists to carry your upper body weight. And the adjustable windscreen genuinely earns its keep at 75 miles per hour, deflecting wind off your helmet rather than your chest. That parallel twin stays remarkably refined at cruising speed too, with no buzzing bars or blurry mirrors, just steady, confident forward motion. This is the bike that makes you think, I could genuinely do 400 miles today, not because you have to, but because you actually want to. Number 5. Kawasaki Versys 650. There's a point after 50 where you stop riding to impress anyone else and start riding purely for yourself, and that's exactly where the Versys 650 earns its spot. Kawasaki's 649cc parallel twin makes around 66 horsepower, but the real story isn't the number, it's how genuinely alive the bike feels without ever feeling demanding. Twist the throttle and it responds cleanly and eagerly without ever feeling abrupt. At roughly 465 pounds wet, it's manageable enough that parking lots stop feeling stressful and U-turns stop feeling like a strategy session. The riding position stays open and upright, nothing cramped, nothing forcing your wrists to carry your upper body weight, and the adjustable windscreen genuinely earns its keep at 75 miles per hour, deflecting wind off your helmet rather than your chest. That parallel twin stays remarkably refined at cruising speed too, with no buzzing bars or blurry mirrors, just steady, confident forward motion. This is the bike that makes you think, I could genuinely do 400 miles today, not because you have to, but because you actually want to.
Number 4. Suzuki V-Strom 650 XT. There's a reason experienced riders keep circling back to the V-Strom 650 generation after generation. Not because it's the flashiest option, but because it makes long days feel genuinely manageable rather than exhausting. Suzuki's 645cc 90-degree V-twin makes around 70 horsepower delivered in a smooth, linear curve that never feels rushed or forces you to chase high RPM just to make progress. At roughly 470 pounds wet, it sits in a genuine sweet spot, stable enough for interstate miles, light enough that a tight gravel lot doesn't spike your pulse. What really sets the 650 XT apart is how it treats your body over the course of a long ride. A wide, supportive saddle that distributes pressure evenly, an upright bar position that keeps your wrists neutral, and a V-twin that stays refined enough at cruising speed to keep your hands from numbing and your mirrors from blurring. The suspension isn't track-tuned, and that's genuinely the point. It exists purely to absorb broken pavement and patchwork roads, not to carve apexes. This is the bike that impresses you 300 miles in, not at the coffee shop beforehand. Number 3. Suzuki V-Strom 1050 XT. Now we're into serious highway territory. The V-Strom 1050 XT doesn't hide what it's built for. Genuine long-distance comfort, full stop. Suzuki's 1037cc 90-degree V-twin makes around 106 horsepower and roughly 74 pound-feet of torque, arriving early and pulling smoothly enough that you never really have to think about it. Twist the throttle and it simply moves with calm authority. At roughly 545 pounds wet, it's undeniably bigger, but Suzuki keeps that weight low, so once it's rolling, it feels planted rather than lumbering. Crosswinds don't push it around.
Number 2. Honda Africa Twin. There's a reason this bike keeps showing up in serious riders' garages decade after decade. Not because it's trendy, not because it's flashy, because it simply feels right the moment you swing a leg over it. The Africa Twin's 1084cc parallel twin makes around 100 horsepower, delivered in a way that feels strong but never chaotic.
torque arrives low and builds smoothly, so rolling on at highway speed produces confidence rather than a sudden shove. At roughly 505 pounds wet in standard trim, it's substantial enough to feel planted without ever feeling like it's fighting you. Slow speed handling stays natural, gravel roads stop feeling intimidating, and you're genuinely in control rather than managing something that outweighs you by hundreds of pounds. The riding position is open and upright, hips neutral, knees free, bars that come to you instead of forcing a reach, and you can stand comfortably when the terrain turns rough or sit for hours when it doesn't. The suspension is where this bike truly earns its reputation, soaking up broken pavement and expansion joints so thoroughly that you finish long rides feeling like you actually rode rather than survived. Opt for the DCT version and clutch work disappears entirely, a feature more experienced riders tend to appreciate far more than they expected to. The Africa Twin doesn't shout for attention, it just quietly does everything well. Power when you want it, comfort when you need it, confidence everywhere in between. That's exactly why it takes the top spot. Number 1. Yamaha Tracer 9 GT Plus. Turning 50 doesn't mean the love of acceleration disappears. It just means you want that acceleration delivered without the physical toll that used to come with it. That's essentially the entire pitch behind the Tracer 9 GT Plus. Yamaha's 890cc CP3 Tribble makes around 117 horsepower, but what makes it genuinely special is how usable that power feels. Strong, steady torque with instant passing power, yet composed rather than frantic at cruising speed. At roughly 495 pounds wet, it's significantly lighter than most full-size adventure tourers, and that lightness shows up everywhere. Low-speed maneuvering, twisty back roads, everyday errands. The seat is properly sculpted rather than an afterthought. The bar position keeps wrists neutral, and the adjustable windscreen genuinely changes the airflow hitting your helmet at speed. Heated grips, cruise control, and rider aids aren't gimmicks here. They're tools that extend your riding season and cut fatigue on longer days. The Tracer 9 GT Plus simply refuses to make you choose between comfort and performance. 9 bikes, 1 consistent message. Turning 50 doesn't mean slowing down, it means riding smarter. The goal was never to ride less, it's to ride longer and actually feel good doing it. Which of these would get you back out on the road for another few decades? Let us know in the comments, and if this helped you narrow things down, save it. Share it with a riding buddy who's daydreaming about his next bike, and stick around for more of these.